Come, Sarisha!
The whales have stolen his soul. All he does now is blow his horn for all instead of the Lord.
Los hom af, bietjie man.
I bathed in you. The waters of life and mine mixed, and our souls were cleansed.
So now you found me, what you going to do about it?
I don't know.
It takes place at a seaside village of Hermanus in the Western Cape and is based on award-winning novelist, poet and playwright Zakes Mda's fifth and best-selling novel of the same name. The Whale Caller is a metaphysical tale of love, loss and jealousy between a man, a woman and a whale. Now the cast is led by the acclaimed South African actor Sello Maake Ka Ncube and is directed and produced by one of the country's most admired directors, Zola Maseko. The pair join us now in studio to tell us all about The Whale Caller, which will be released in cinemas nationwide on the 13th of October. Very good morning to you, gentlemen, and welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Good morning to you.
Sello, you need to really bring us into what it is about The Whale Caller that really, when you saw the script, caught your attention and why you think it's an important story to tell.
I just wanted to act.
Surely that can't be it.
Now, but it is a beautiful story, and I think one thing that it says for me is, you know, what Zakes has done is actually making us realize that as artists, we are little gods. So what we do is we recreate the world. And we tell the stories of life. And when I read the relationship, the story about a man having a relationship with a whale, a fish, you know, and one thing that makes the world go round is love. And we pursue it in different degrees. And I think for me, it was just seeing love pursued in a different way, but also seeing how when also you bring another element into the story, which was bringing in Saluni, and how this man almost now changes the direction of his love, and basically now it focuses on Saluni, but also the thing of then being caught between the fish and life, and it's all about sometimes being caught between reality and fantasy, you know.
Which is also, I think, one of the drivers of love. Love in itself is a force of nature.
It is, and I think for me that's what drew me into this. To, you know, most of the time in the stories that one has told, you've only dealt with love for, you know, love for a woman. You know, and even though, I mean, like sometimes what you actually have to deal with is maybe the person is a businessman and there is a triangle of love, you know, that is happening. The man loves his work too much and then has to divide himself between the work and the woman, you know. So for me, it was because it's just a story about love. And that attracted me, and I love love.
As we all do. Mr. Zola, now bring us into why you decided to take the book and turn it into a film. What inspired that, and what was it about the story that you thought was so important that you needed to see it come alive in another sense?
I knew you were going to ask me that question, and I can't, I find it impossible to describe. It's like you guys are talking about love now. It's like me asking you, if you married, can you explain to me why you married this man, or how you fell in love with this man? I think it's the same processes that happen when in all the films that I've done, I've tried to find out what is it that drew me to these stories, because they're varied and they're wide, you know, from Sarah Bartman to the manuscripts of Timbuktu to The Foreigner to Drum. It's not the same story over and over again. And it's love. It's an obsession. It's like Cupid hitting you. And when it hits you, you have no, there's
choice but to give in.
Exactly. And it becomes an obsession. For me, it does. It becomes an obsession. I become focused on it. I become to the complete detriment of all my other relationships. I spend years and years on it till it has to come out. And I can't explain that. I can't explain that. You should be more experienced.
No, but this, it's the worst thing that people see on TV.
Phone off.
No, the people can see you on TV and then they want to talk to you. I'm on TV.
I'll ask you this. Now, for the people who've not had an opportunity to read the book itself, but will perhaps see the film, what is it that you'd like to have audiences walk away with after seeing this film?
It's impossible for I read somewhere that says if you want to send a message, write a letter. I'm a storyteller. I want to tell a story. And we all come to the cinema with the background of our personal experiences. So we're all going to take something different from the story. What I want to say, what I want people to feel is what I felt after reading the book. I want to convey that same experience. I'd like people to say, wow, that was a great story, because that's what Zakes' novel did to me. And that's what I want to, that's the mood and the feeling that I'd like people to take when they walk out of the cinema.
Now, but Sello, we can't separate literature, we can't separate film, we can't separate creativity from each other. What is your opinion on the current state of literature, filmmaking, and creators in South Africa? And in which direction do you think we're going, as you've been a great contributor to all these things?
I haven't really been a great contributor. I doubt if I really have been, because at the moment I have been riding on other people's creations. And until such time where I would be telling the stories that I want to tell, then that will be the time when I would say I'm making my contribution. But talking about literature, the connection between the three. In 1988 I nearly gave up acting. But one thing that gave me a lifeline was reading a book called The World of Cantembe. And that book, basically blew life back into me. So literature, it is very, very important in our lives. And another thing is, our contribution has got to be in such a way that we influence human behavior. I remember James, people attribute this quote to me, but John Ledwaba was the one who said it. And he said that an actor is an instrument for mind liberation. And when people look at the book and working a story, I see myself in it. You know what I mean? Zola think about images. Yes. Now I think about the emotional world of the character, because now I've got to interpret that emotionally and cerebrally.
All right, fantastic, gentlemen. That is where I have to leave it for this morning. That is acclaimed South African actor Sello Maake Ka Ncube, who is the lead in The Whale Caller, which is directed and, of course, produced by Zola Maseko. The film is based on the award-winning novelist, poet, and playwright Zakes Mda's fifth and best-selling novel of the same name. Now, the film, as I said earlier, will be released in cinemas nationwide on the 13th of October. Make sure you get your tickets and go out there and support a local.